everybody. Jim here on this fine, beautiful afternoon in Tokyo. Today, I am in the neighborhood of Ikebukuro. And as you can see, it is a holiday today. Everybody's got the day off. So, I don't know, they kind of turned the street here into a little pedestrian mall, I guess. But I'm in Ikebukuro today because you might not know it, but there's like a lot of cool stuff here. So there's, well, particularly for gaming, there's like a nice big mandarake shop. There is a second location of Mikado, the really awesome arcade I went to in Takadano Baba recently. And I plan to go and shoot videos in those two places very soon. But today, we're here because there is a Super Potato. There is another Super Potato location here in Ikebukuro, which I'm actually going to for the first time today. I Google mapped it and we're gonna go find it. And it should be around the bend, but there's construction going on. But I think I can just, I'm gonna cut through here. I think as long as I get just like to the other side of the street, I'm fine. Let's go through here. This is nice. Actually, I think I've only been to Ikebukuro like one time, and I didn't come really here. I was here for like that aquarium thing we did on Japan Headlines. A lot of work going on today, but yeah, I'm digging it though. Just from walking around a little bit, and I don't know, this is like a nice neighborhood, and this is pretty cool that, like, you know, everybody has a day off. People are just kind of like chilling, walking around, doing their thing. I like to see that. And I guess like right around here we should have something that resembles a sweet potato. There's a Family Mart. Is this, and there it is. Excellent. We have found it. Okay, so Super Potato, it's shuttered. They're open, so I guess you gotta go upstairs. Get inside, brand new Super Potato. See what it's all about. Intrigued to see if the prices are any better or worse than the other one. All stairs, no elevator. Okay, there's the entrance. Looks like it's just one floor. So, alright, let's go see what they got. Okay, getting started in this brand new Super Potato. Many hours later, watching this footage again, at home relaxing with some beer. That's how I like to do these videos, people, with beer in hand. First thing you see when you walk in the door, we got this glass case with all of this great but expensive stuff in it. Castlevania and Lickle, which is Little Samson. They have complete copies of that, and Adventure Island 4, and all this other stuff. And then some loose carts up here that are especially expensive. I think some of those, the ones without labels, they must be like some kind of prototype carts or something. But, you know, your typical game case, glass case, lots of really expensive stuff in there that I'd like to have, but just, you know, it's not in the budget. And then this case, this is pretty cool. There's a Game & Watch, which I don't know a great deal about. I think the only time I've ever played with a Game & Watch is at A Button in Akihabara, because he'll have those at the bar. So I've played a little bit of that. But other than that, not terribly familiar with those as we come around. They have some PlayStation VRs in stock. Not much of that. And then these are all strategy guides. Old school strategy guides, which I love these because there's always like just such like awesome covers and always lots of really nice illustrations inside them as we look at some Rockman X guides. And some of them are actually just like straight up manga. They're manga strategy guides, which those are really cool. And then a few Switch games here. Not much of that. Some, you know, DSs and things. There's not like, you know, there's a little bit of like more modern stuff. But obviously, you know, not very much. As we look at another case with all these Mega Drive games in it, Alicia Dragoon and Contra and a whole bunch of other stuff, Rockman Mega World, the Battlemania games, some AES, beautiful, beautiful AES games. Again, a case with like lots of really expensive stuff in it that I'd love to have because it's awesome. I have some of these games already, thankfully. But yeah. Pricey stuff. These are not, though. These PlayStations. They're like $20 for a PlayStation. So if you want a Japanese PS1, you don't really have to pay that much for it. As we come around here, another case with, you know, PlayStation, PC Engine, Saturn, that kind of stuff. As we can see, Captain Commando, Pepsi Man in there. Some PC Engine stuff. Koryun, Rainbow Islands, Tatsujin, Kiki Kai Kai. Nexer, even Magical Chase. Really amazing games, really expensive games. So watch and weep. Saturn games, and a bunch of these, they have these stickers on them. They're saying that they're, you know, they're factory sealed brand new games, so they're like crazy expensive. So I'll like never touch those. As we see, also some Dreamcast games here. Again, a bunch of them being marked as brand new. Which I could never buy because I want to play the games. I couldn't buy a shooter and just leave it in the wrapper. Question for my audience. Do any of you collect factory sealed games? Because I do not. I don't understand the allure, unless it's just to sell it later. As we were just looking at some DS games and a whole bunch of loose Game Boy games here. They got a whole bunch of handheld stuff right around here. And some GameCube. And I'll point out right now that some of these games, you'll see little stickers on them that say sample. And what that is you can take that game up to the counter, and they will have multiple copies of that game in varying condition. And, you know, if it's in a little bit worse shape, it'll be cheaper. And if it's in, like, perfect condition, it'll be a little more expensive. So you get to choose which game you want, you know, within your budget, if you want the you know, more expensive, better condition, or if you're willing to settle for like a little bit less nice, but, you know, less money. As we see a little very small PS3 section and some PS2 games, including like this Strikers collection, some RPGs, some fighting games like Rumblefish and Hokuto no Ken, and a whole bunch of SNK games as well, including this collection with I think it's Kizuna Encounter and Savage Rain, which is very cool. But they have all these, you know, PS2 fighting collections, which, you know, Fatal Fury and Samurai Spirits, some Street Fighter as well. So all that's very cool. That's a much cheaper alternative, you know, to buying all of those like AES carts. Of course, I'm sure you can just get all those games digitally anyway. And here we have all these loose Famicom carts, which usually, like their loose carts, aren't priced so bad, unless it's something like, exceptionally rare. We have this Kid Dracula here. That's probably about 25 bucks, which I think isn't too bad for Kid Dracula, actually. I don't know what the current pricing is on that. But all these Konami games, including the Contras. The Contras are kind of expensive. Pretty much every Contra game is expensive in Japan. I don't know why. As we look at some boxed stuff, like Ninja Ryukenden and Zelda 1942. All these boxes, from what I can tell at least, maybe they look extra glossy in the wrapping, but they're in really great condition. That's a comment that a lot of these videos get, is that people are really impressed with how well taken care of a lot of these games are. As we look at a twin Famicom, boxed and complete for hundreds of dollars, like over 400 bucks, and more loose Famicom carts. I actually need a new twin Famicom because, well, my first one broke, and my last one actually left at an ex-girlfriend's house. Well, a girlfriend who became an ex-girlfriend. I didn't know she was going to be an ex-girlfriend at the time, but there it goes. So take my advice, people. Don't leave your twin Famicoms at your ex-girlfriend's house. As we take a look at a broken Virtua Boy. Why do they have a broken Virtua Boy? I have no idea. I wouldn't want to buy a working one, so... And then some of those Super Famicoms, they're yellowed, and they're still selling them at basically the same price, which I don't approve of, really. And then these AV modded Famicoms, I've been seeing a lot more of those lately. Those are usually being sold for, like, between 90 and 100 bucks. As we look at more, twin Famicoms and others. And then this Neo-Geo for however many, couple $100, and there's nothing with it. There's no cables, no controllers, just hundreds of dollars for a loose AES deck. Or is it literally made of gold? Is that why they called them the gold system? As we look at some Super Famicom stuff and some cool merch. Pokemon and Dragon Ball Uno, Nintendo playing cards. Oh my god. And a bunch of Capcom games. This is something else I really like, is that these games are all grouped by publisher. So we're looking at all these Capcom games right here. And then these Nintendo first-party games. That's awesome, because if you have a preferred publisher, if you already know you love 16-bit Capcom games, just go to the Capcom section and take your pick. And then just for fun, checking the price on Zelda. 1980, so that's probably like, I don't know, $17 maybe? Something like that. And some box games, including the Seiken Densetsu games, which are like just in minty condition, and those games are great. And these repros, too, these reproductions of like Satellaview games and some of the more rare Super Famicom games. Those are pretty cool. Dragon Quest and Square games. Very cheap. I believe, what was it? The guy on Metal Jesus said they're like the Madden 95s of Japan, which is kind of apt as we look at more boxed Super Famicom games here. But yeah, RPGs, they really are a dime a dozen here. So it's interesting to see that those are like the super cheap games, whereas in the States, maybe Chrono Trigger or, Earthbound, those things will be more expensive. As we look at all this Super Famicom, Darius Twin and Gradius, and Salt Suit Vulcan, which I believe is, what is that, Cybernator? And all those Goemon games, Chrono Trigger, and then the Konami section, basically, with Goemon and Ninja Turtles, Axlay, Castlevania, just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, again, I like that they break them up, the big publishers at least. Your Capcom section, your Konami section, your Nintendo section. As we look at this, again, modest selection of PS4 titles, which I don't have a PS4, but that's probably something I'll get eventually. Oh, jump cut. Hey, who doesn't love a good jump cut? As we look at all these PS1 games, which they had quite a lot of. And I personally do really enjoy collecting for the PlayStation, because there are lots and lots of PlayStation games that were Japan only, and a lot of them are pretty cool. I've found some really I don't really use the term hidden gems so much, because oftentimes I don't think it applies. But yeah, there are some hidden gems on the Japanese PlayStation. As we look at some soundtracks as well, which is cool. I used to be sort of into collecting game soundtracks, but not so much anymore. I figure one hobby is enough. As we get to PC Engine, which I love. This Power Drift, I didn't even know that Power Drift had a PC Engine release, but ported by Asmic, of all people. They usually weren't the best at making games, I don't think, but you know, they had Final Soldier there and some others. Lots and lots of PC Engine games. The Hue cards are all kind of you know, together, and then we have all the disc games as well. And this is Image Fight 2, which is a game I'd love to have, but it's kind of up there. Something I can maybe come back for, shop around a bit first, and then even some PCFX, which I have some PCFX games. I don't even know where my PCFX is, but I don't really collect for it. And a Duo RX boxed, which is also very cool. I don't really need a Duo RX because I also already have my Duo R, but I wouldn't mind that 6-button controller, as we see a very, very modest little selection of Xbox games and some 3DO games down there too. Not a lot of love for the Xbox out here, which is too bad. I loved my my OG Xbox. Thought it was great. As we have some 64, and there's not a lot of 64 stuff in here either. I mean, there's this one shelf, which you know, when compared to the Famicom, Super Famicom, it's really, really modest. And then some 360 stuff. And they know what, I guess they know what people want. They have just a lot of 360 shooters all next to each other. Caladrius and Dodon Pachi. Which, that's why I got my Japanese 360. I wanted to play all of the shooters. As we come over here, looking at all this box stuff. I think like peripherals and other things. And then there's, you know, a bunch of consoles here. Saturns, which are pretty reasonably priced. Dreamcast in the $50 to $60 range. Boxed PC Engine, which is very cool. But again, I have my Duo R, so I don't really need any other PC Engines in my life. Boxed Dreamcast, boxed Saturns, and then some loose Mega Drives here, which are priced pretty good. And some, I guess, those are just regular PCs. They look like the core graphics, though. And then this for like $200 about. Maybe close to like 180 or something. They got a Master System in there, which I didn't get. I'm gonna have to get a Master System at some point. Maybe when I have like enough room for like to have another console in my collection. Jeez, everyone at this point has seen how small my apartment is, as they got the Famicom box or whatever it's called, and some more peripherals and some Kirby merch for all the Kirby fans out there, of which I'm one, and this working Virtua Boy. Why don't they have that one for sale? You got the broken one for sale. Anyway, Saturn, and again, they know people like their shooters, so they have like all these shooters front and center. Radiant Silvergun and Cotton and Strikers and Sokyu Gurentai, Dodon Pachi, just all these shooters right up here. Like, they know what the popular titles are. They got the shooters, there's Guardian Heroes there. They got some stuff up there that... well, I guess the Saturn is really known for, isn't it? Saturn is best known for, I think, its shooters and platformers and beat-em-ups, among collectors anyway. This, the Dreamcast, what is it, Trial Set? I don't really know what that is, but it comes in this cool case, and like it looked cool, and I'd like one. Seems like something that Dreamcast collector would be really into. As we look at these Dreamcast games, and they got the Gigawing games, and Ikaruga, and... Mark of the Wolves, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Marvel vs. Capcom, Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Street Fighter, Shenmue, all the classics, really. Again, front and center. They know their audience. These Super Potatoes, they know what people are into. They put the popular titles up there, front and center, and then you can dig through that. And some AES, the less expensive AES games. These are usually, you know, not so bad, except for, wow. Some of those are, though. These Neo-Geo CD games. Modest selection, though it is. And some good games here. Oh, Ghostbusters. Did I end up grabbing Ghostbusters? Maybe I did. What the hell am I saying? You're going to see in a little while. Yeah, I did. Because with exchange rate, that Ghostbusters, probably about $37, something like that. Complete, really great condition.
And I'd never played Ghostbusters before. But look, all these great Mega Drive games, and still no Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles continues to elude me. But there's some cool stuff in here. As we have here, Dynamite Heady. Just another game I'd really like to get. I was thinking seriously here, you know, nice treasure game, but, you know, it was faded, you know, sun-faded box and stuff. And I'm like, why am I going to buy a complete copy of a game when I'm not going to be happy because it's all sun-faded and stuff? But that's about it for the inside of this Super Potato. We've basically taken a look at everything. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and walk on out of here, and then we can get my final words outside.
Okay, so that's the Super Potato in Ikebukuro. Pretty cool, very cramped though. Kind of hard to maneuver. If there's like more than like 2 people in there, it's like you're running into everybody. But you know, pretty cool. Not like a selection as big as the one in Akiba, but not bad. And I did end up picking up that copy of Ghostbusters, and I even grabbed myself a copy of Bravo Man for my PC Engine, because I did not have Bravo Man yet, and it was like 15 bucks. So I'm pretty happy. The Super Potato in Ikebukuro is worth stopping into. Yeah, you know, just do keep in mind it's Super Potato, so the prices are like, I mean, I say expensive, but honestly, it's what the games go for. It's kind of like the, you know, normal asking price. So I guess, if at all possible, you don't want to see that. You want to see games, you know, going for like, you know, deals. Everybody wants to get deals, but I don't know. Sometimes you have to bite the bullet, you know. But I didn't buy anything like too expensive today, so I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm gonna go home and play Bravo Man and Ghostbusters. Some of the games they had that were like factory sealed, that were like crazy expensive. Like I would have gotten Strikers 1945 Part 2 if it wasn't like the factory sealed, like, you know, several $100s one. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point. But yeah, Ikebukuro, pretty cool. I'll probably be hanging out here more often from now on. And actually, right now, I'm gonna put the camera away and maybe go do like a little exploring. Maybe go see if I can find that Mikado arcade, or go get some food. There's obviously like a lot of places to eat around here. So yeah, Ikebukuro, pretty cool in my book, and definitely if you're in town looking for some games, check out the Super Potato. It ain't bad. So that'll do her for today, as the wind really starts to pick up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, yada yada yada, all the stuff you say at the end of a YouTube video. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.